TechTimeRadio.com.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Have you ever heard of Learn Worlds?
No, I have not. Why don't you tell me about it?
Sure, let me tell you more about it. Do you want to create an income online by adding a new revenue stream to your business? It has never been easier. Consider taking your knowledge, skills, and expertise and converting it into a course that you can sell online.
Sounds cool.
It is really pretty cool. Learn Worlds makes it easy to create, host, and sell beautiful online courses that have an impact. Learn World's intuitive platform and a wealth of resources to educate yourself. You're only a few steps away from building a thriving online business in the booming knowledge economy. Visit trylearnworlds.com/free to start your 30-day free trial right now. Again, that's trylearnworlds.com/free to start that 30-day trial.
Sounds cool.
Hey, Mike, have you heard of the Entrepreneur Swag Shop?
I have not heard about it.
You haven't? Well, let me tell you more. One of the biggest challenges business owners face is creating and maintaining a strong mindset, as fear, doubt, worry, and other negative thoughts tend to creep in. That's why I love the EntrepreneurSwagShop.com and what it's doing to address the common issue. Its mission is to empower entrepreneurs through clothing and accessories so they can stay inspired and focused on their goals.
That's cool.
It's not just who, but what you surround yourself with that makes an impact of how you think, the actions you take, and the results that you are going to get.
Dun, dun, dun.
At EntrepreneurSwagShop.com, again, that's EntrepreneurSwagShop.com, just how it sounds, you will find a variety of items to inspire you and help achieve your business goals. Whether you're young, old, male, female, or just beginning out on an experienced business or needing to refresh that older business, you'll find something in the shop that will help you on your journey.
Yeah, this is right up my alley.
Visit EntrepreneurSwagShop.com today and get 10% off your first order. Again, visit them online at EntrepreneurSwagShop.com. That's EntrepreneurSwagShop.com today to get that variety of information that makes you feel good to inspire you to continue on with your business goals. We would like to thank Podcorn for sponsoring this episode of Tech Time Radio. Explore sponsorship opportunities and start monetizing your podcast by signing up at podcorn.com/podcasters. Let me tell you about Podcorn. Podcorn is an absolute must for any podcaster starting out. Now, when we started out Tech Time Radio, we started out in a back office with a couple of mics. We expanded to a studio, and then now, as you can see, we're on the radio and have distribution into other markets. Having the ability to have Podcorn at the start of our podcast would have been a dream come true. Guess what? With Podcorn, you now have the amazing opportunity for podcasts to receive sponsorship, such as host reads, interview segments, and topical discussions. With Podcorn, there's no middleman. Podcasters of all sizes can browse and choose opportunities right on their platform, set their own rates, and collaborate with brands directly without exclusivities. You never give up the rights of your podcast in Podcorn, and they're here to support you everywhere possible. Visit podcorn.com. Again, that's podcorn.com. Podcorn is a true success for those starting their podcast dreams.
Coming to you from the shores of the Pacific Northwest, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, Technology news of the week, the show for the everyday common person with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. I'm Nathan Mumm. We got Mike Roday here, David Brown behind the board. Welcome to our live show. We are in studio streaming Saturdays from 4 to 6 p.m.
You gonna do it?
So, yeah, I'm going to do it. So if you're watching us Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, not 4 to 6 p.m., and Sunday, you're going to catch a rebroadcast. So where can you get your most up-to-date information? By going to techtimeradio.com. Again, that's techtimeradio.com, and you can get all the information there regarding our show. All right. I know that we have a break in here that we wanted to have taken care of. So, David, did you want to break in? You had an announcement you'd like to make to start off the show?
Yes, I would have an announcement for everybody out there today. Today marks
1 year of Tech Time being on AM 1150 KKNW. So congratulations, applause, and
Congratulations. Way to go. Way to go.
good job.
Mr.
All
Gorday.
right.
And Mr. Gorday and Mr. Mum have missed a couple days, but David has not. He's been
Mike
here.
and Mom have.
Well,
not
remember, I missed
made all
one.
yeah, he missed one.
I
They
missed one.
that's right, a Gonzaga game. That's correct. All right. Well, welcome to Tech Time Radio. We are the 2-hour technology show that talks about current technologies weeks ahead of the mainstream media before you're going to hear about it, because it's so crazy. We talk about stuff on here, and then like literally 2 weeks later, you'll start seeing about it in the mainstream media. And then people will say, hey, well, did you hear about this? And we're like, yep. If you listen
We
to our
already
show,
knew about it. You
yeah,
should
we
listen
knew
to our
about it
show.
2 weeks ago. That's exactly correct. All right. This week on the show, we are going to discuss PayPal's $54 billion bid to buy Pinterest. We got
PayPal interest.
Amazon is being accused of lying about its business practices to Congress.
No way.
Yes, and it's hurting small businesses. We have some good news, as the average ransomware payment has stayed at only $143,000 per cybercrime conviction. It stayed steady for Q3 of 2021. It didn't increase or it didn't go down.
Yeah, I think we're going to talk about a whole new social media network too.
We are. That's we got about that. We also have a cyber crime group called Fin7 we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about drug cartels in Mexico. And then is Sony changing the game by allowing people to vote and pay to boot players off? We're going to be talking about that. That's a pretty big change in the gaming community. That's going to be it's going to be like a Hunger Games, and all of a sudden you're going to see Katniss is out there saving the day, and all of a sudden all the viewers at home vote her off, and then boom, she's gone.
Yeah, bad idea.
All right,
This is a bad idea, Sony.
It is. On the second hour, we have our letter segment. We look at the latest phishing attempts, email scams, and frauds sent to me, and we got some funny ones today. Then we also have an Ask the Expert segment where we're going to open up the phone calls. Today is the day to be live on the show. So if you want to call us at 425-373-5527. Again, that's 425-373-5527. David will get you on the air, or 188-298-KKNW. That's 188-298-5569, and we will have a whole open phone segment in the second hour. So if you call up, we'll probably interrupt our regular scheduled programming to put you in. And then if you want to call during the second hour, that will be great also. We're going to have a Facebook conversation regarding the Metaverse.
No.
We're going to be talking about the Metaverse that Facebook is doing. And of course, then we have This Week in Technology History. So we are excited to get our show going, and we are going to officially start today's show.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
Was that the music there, David?
Yeah, it was.
There it is.
There we go.
Now on today's show.
All right, we're going to start a show with Mike Gorday as we start each of our shows with a loaded question of the week brought to you by Elderberry Boost. Get your Elderberry Boost today at elderberryboost.com. All right, here's a question for you, Mr. Gorday.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to scare someone, what would you do?
Stare at them while they're sleeping.
Stare at them while they're sleeping.
Yeah.
That would be kind of scary.
Yeah.
So
have you ever just woken up out of a straight sleep? I don't know. We used to do this when I was in high school. People would fall asleep on the bus, and we'd all just stare at them. They'd wake up.
Really?
Yeah. And look around, and everybody starts
Start laughing at them?
Yeah. So staring at somebody that's very subtle, but
Very subtle. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
better than just creeping up on somebody.
It's creeping up and putting spiders or do you ever remember as a little kid going to trick or treat, and you'd have these trick or treat parties where you'd put your hands in like this gooey stuff,
spaghetti, and
spaghetti,
like,
and brains.
Yeah,
I
I was too smart for that.
It didn't quite work.
No, I was like, this is spaghetti.
Then he ate a bunch.
And they ate a bunch.
All right, well, we're going to have our whiskey tasting today. During our commercials, we have our whiskey where it gets either 0, 1, or 2 thumbs up as our pick of the day. Make sure you listen all the way through the show to have your interesting facts that will make you go, and seeing if we like our whiskey. Now, let's get our episode started with our first segment.
What's happening in the world of technology? This is our top stories in the first 5 minutes.
All right, we have our top stories every week in the first 5 minutes of the show. PayPal is asking to spend $45 billion to buy Pinterest. Pinterest Holding Inc. has been offered to buy the digital pinboard site Pinterest for $45 billion. People familiar with the matter said on Wednesday a combination could be heard of more financial technology and social media tie-ups in e-commerce. The deal comes as internet shoppers increasingly buy items that they see on social media, often following influencers on platforms such as Instagram, TikTok, and of course, one of the favorites, Pinterest. Acquiring Pinterest would allow PayPal to capture more of the e-commerce growth and diversify its income through advertising revenue. PayPal has offered $70 per share, mostly in stock, for the Pinterest buyout. The online payment provider hopes to successfully negotiate an announcement of the deal by this time next week, and they would love to make the announcement before their earnings on November 8. The source cautioned that no deal was certain and terms could change. PayPal and Pinterest did not respond to requests for comment.
I wonder if this had anything to do with Venmo and these other little payment companies.
Kind of encroaching. Remember when PayPal was like eBay came out, right?
Yep.
And if you wanted to buy something on eBay, there was no other way to do it but PayPal. And that was the currency. And eBay was hugely successful. PayPal was hugely successful.
I still use PayPal.
And then everybody says, well, why don't you Venmo me? And I'm like, oh, the Venmo, it's more difficult. I have to do it on my phone.
PayPal you.
That's right. Give it to me on PayPal. You can do a PayPal me link and everything.
That's right.
It would be interesting for PayPal to get into the social media aspects of the Pinterest area, right? Because it's a social media hybrid. It's not where you're just posting information, but you post pictures.
Well, no, I mean, right? They get to buy if they buy Pinterest, then they get to push their platform.
Yep.
And also, they now start charging Venmo and those other places service charges for buying off of their site.
That's right. So
now, how about that?
So then all of a sudden you're going to want to go back to PayPal because it'll be cheaper than having to pay a $12 handling fee or a $10 handling fee for any of these other ones.
It's just corporate skullduggery is what it is.
Skullduggery. I love that word. There you go. All right. Okay, story number 2. Amazon accused of lying about its business practices to Congress. All right, we got some great audio right
Facebook?
here.
Oh, wait a minute.
All right, here we go.
5 members of the House Judiciary Committee have now sent a letter to the Amazon CEO, Andy Jassy. It accuses the company's top executives, including founder Jeff Bezos, of either misleading Congress or lying to lawmakers about Amazon's business practices. Now they are warning that the committee could refer the case to the Department of Justice. It follows a Reuters investigation last week allegedly showing Amazon has conducted a systematic campaign of copying products and then rigging search results in its app in India to boost sales of its own brand, its own version of those products. Here's Bezos in July of 2020 testifying before the committee.
Mr. Bezos, does Amazon ever access and use third-party seller data when making business decisions? And just a yes or no will suffice, sir.
I can't answer that question yes or no. What I can tell you is we have a policy against using seller-specific data to aid our private label business, but I can't guarantee you that that policy has never been violated.
All right, so he can't.
In a statement to Reuters, Amazon has denied the allegations, saying, quote, Amazon and its executives did not mislead the committee. As we have previously stated, we have an internal policy which goes beyond that of any other retailer's policy that we're aware of. That prohibits the use of individual seller data to develop Amazon private label products.
Yeah, more corporate skullduggery.
So there you go. So
I'm just going to use that all day today.
So here's what has been actually proven, and this is why they're saying, hey, Amazon, are you going to retract your comments of what has been done? Essentially, Amazon India has taken the top products that small businesses are selling on their sites that is getting great traction. They will then rebrand it as an Amazon Basic. That's their kind of deal. So you got Costco's got Kirkland. Amazon has their Amazon Basics. And then what they're going to do is they'll come out with a clone of what you had or very much a replica of what a hot item was selling for. And it will be in the top of all the search results at a guaranteed lower price because they can trigger it and be 3 cents lower, 5 cents lower than any other competitor on the market.
Yeah, that's how Walmart blows up stuff.
Is that how they had the
Well, I don't know if they do that specifically, but because they are able to have their warehousing and stuff like that, that's what made them so big so fast because they warehoused everything differently.
So at best, the report confirms that an Amazon representatives have misled the committee. At worst, it has outright lied to Congress on possible violations of federal criminal law.
I guess we'll see if they may be referred to the Department of Justice. We'll see.
I would hope if that was the case that they would.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, I think you have the next story up, right, Mike?
Yeah, I wanted to know if you heard about the new social media network called Truth Social.
True. Oh, tell me about Truth Social. Who's in charge of that?
Oh, you would never believe this in a million years.
Who's
but
that?
Trump Media and Technology Group, former President Donald Trump,
Yeah?
has finally announced a long-rumored platform that he is calling his own social media platform, his own special thing called Truth Social.
Truth Social.
Yeah.
All right.
Right. So it's set to launch next year.
Okay, next year. That sounds exciting.
Although the press has announced that there's still a beta release coming this November.
Okay.
If you head over to the advertised URL, truthsocial.com, you'll find a sign-up form to be put up on a waiting list.
Okay.
So you can be notified of the launch, and there's also a link in Apple's App Store, so you can pre-order the free mobile app.
So I have to pre-order a free mobile social media app?
Yes.
From Truth Social?
But guess what?
But what happened?
A few enterprising sleuths,
I heard about this,
a.k.a. trolls,
yeah,
however, have decided to move that launch date up to the exact same day of Trump's Truth announcement, mere hours after the world learned of this.
Yep.
Social media project. A sign-up link that clearly wasn't meant to be public was discovered taking users to the domain tmediatech.io.
tmediatech.io.
Right.
Yep.
And a slew of people started registering for the unreleased platform via this page and quickly discovered that pretty much every username thinkable was available for the taking.
Really?
Yeah.
And what did some of these trolls decide to get?
So, well, if you're looking to get on this site as Donald Trump or the real Donald Trump or anything related, somebody has already taken these over.
Oh boy.
So,
I heard there was also like a Mike Pence one that was taken over. So all these trolls had the link somewhere that they found about it. Probably in the URL, there was probably some hidden link that they didn't do a really good job about.
Right.
So they went and registered names. I wonder what they're going to do.
Which that's ironic, isn't it?
What's that?
Truth Social is going to have fake platform or fake people
right off the bat.
Yeah, right off the bat.
That's so. That sounds really. I will be very interesting to see how Truth Social does, because as we're going to be talking about in the second hour, there needs to be some other social media platform out there, in my opinion, than Facebook, but no one has been able to successfully do it.
No, that's because Facebook has the market on social media. And they've shown that if they're going to compete with them, they may buy them. So they bought Instagram, WhatsApp, right? And then we have YouTube and Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter's still independent, so that's kind of nice. And YouTube is a part of the Google platform. I remember when Google used to be like the horrible enemy of the state. Now all of a sudden, Google's kind of like this middle level. Oh, I'm okay with Google.
I think they figured out we just need to shut up about stuff
and let Facebook
and people will leave us alone.
That's probably what they did. All right, the final story number 4 I got here. A MacBook Pro notch is getting a lot of hate. So Apple released their new MacBook Pro this week, because Apple has like a news announcement every 2 weeks of something new that they're doing, and they are the best advertising company in the world. They will say we have a big announcement to happen. They'll have hundreds of thousands of people watch them have a 45-minute commercial about spending money, and then afterwards people are like, "Oh, I got to spend it. I got to spend it. I got to spend it."
It's crazy.
It's crazy. Well, their new laptop has a notch at the top, so as you have like cameras in their Surface, you have a Surface there. So your camera is above the screen itself, right?
Yeah, it's inbuilt.
It is built into the screen. Well, now think of what Apple did, is they have a camera built into their laptop, but instead of having that real estate reserved for the camera, it actually now comes down on top of your screen. So if you open up a Word document or an email document, you literally have the middle of your screen taken away with this little camera notch.
So you have to maneuver this thing down to engage it?
That's right. So if your window's fully maximized,
it's like a push button camera that blocks out my screen?
Yes. So essentially they released this, and are they getting the hate? Let me just tell you, the notch surround the webcam and the dips of the screen new MacBook has over 100,000 people on a petition to immediately have this banned. Apple designer Linda Dong confirmed that the cursor moves underneath the notch, but your window view is still taken by the notch itself. So your mouse won't go behind it. It'll just run across it and underneath it. But if you have any window full screen, you're going to have that top-notch.
So it's gonna wipe out my menu bars and stuff.
If you have one of the new MacBook Pro 16s and the
I have
MacBook
a feeling
14
Apple
inch.
doesn't really give a crap about that.
See, Apple can just release it and you're still going to buy it. That's right. All right.
Not me.
All right. Well, that takes us to the end of our subject, Mike. We got through the top stories. If you want to learn more about us, you can visit us online at techtimeradio.com. Click on our episode section or blog and you can get more details on these stories. Now it's time for us to get ready to have our whiskey tasting during our break. But up next, we have Gamer Time segment where we look at some of the most challenging yet disturbing new technology processes in the entertainment industry of games. I'm your host, Nathan Mumm. We got Mike Roday here and David Brown behind the board. We will see you after this break.
Hi, I'm Nathan Mumm, host of TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm on KKNW. TechTime Radio's live show is Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m., and you can always check us on the web at techtimeradio.com. Our segmented stylized radio gives you the breaking news before it hits mainstream media. Join myself and Mike Roday as we'll make you laugh.
That's good. So, Hooked on Phonics worked for you, didn't it?
It did, just a little bit.
And learning something new in technology. Join us Saturdays, 4 to 6 p.m., and Thursdays from 6 to 7 a.m. The Technology Show for the everyday common person.
Hi, this is Lisa Downs, host of Reigniting You, the show that takes a positive, forward-looking approach to mid to late career transitions for Gen Xers and Boomers every Wednesday afternoon at 3 o'clock Pacific. Whether you're looking to stay in the traditional workforce, do your own thing, or retire or semi-retire, Reigniting You is your source for career transition advice, inspiration, and insight for what's next in your career and life. Join me Wednesdays at 3 o'clock to get re-energized, recharged, and reignited.
All right. Welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. We just had our first whiskey tasting. And Mike, during the break, we got to sample our whiskey, our pick of the day. And we have chosen Old Camp Peach Pecan Whiskey.
Peach pecan.
Pecan whiskey.
Peach pecan.
Oh, you call it pecan?
I'm from Georgia. This pecan.
Pecan or pecan. All right. So, history-making
Tomato.
duo, Florida Georgia line.
Baby, you a song, you make me wanna roll my windows down and cruise.
Are pleased to share the launch of Old Camp Peach Pecan Whiskey.
Pecan.
The smooth whiskey was created by Florida Georgia Line's Brian Kelly and Tyler Hubbard as the ultimate drink to kickstart the party, pouring onto the bottle a feeling of complete freedom and living in the moment. It's a golden orange whiskey. It has a very sweet smell. It has an impression of kind of a peach candy mix with a touch of nectarine. What is your first take on this?
I like it.
You like it?
Yes, it combines two of my favorite things:
What's that?
pecans and peaches.
Pecan and peaches, and it tastes. So we've had another whiskey on. We were just saying off the air that was kind of like, and it's not quite at this level, but we had this other peanut butter tasting screwball whiskey that was like 4 thumbs up. This is pretty close. It's not peanut butter.
No, it's peach pecan.
But this really tastes. It just tastes like peach pecan pie.
There you go. See?
There you go.
Very good.
Pecan. All right. Okay. So
it doesn't work already. I changed it. So
you changed it.
Yeah,
So
you got it down. Peach pecan.
I'm going to be very interested. This was kind of a funny. I'm just going to throw it in there. I didn't think I'd like this at all.
When I looked at it, I thought it was going to be some of your crappy whiskey that you bought.
No,
but this is actually a glass jar, so I was happy about that.
And you know what? It was created. So this is what Florida Georgia Line. That's why we had the music. This is what they kick off each of their concerts with. They all sit back there and drink. I can see guys drinking this.
There's a reason why I don't have this stuff in my bar.
Yeah.
Because it would be gone.
It would be gone?
And I would be trashed.
There you go. Now I know what I can bring on our bachelor party event that we have for you coming up here, right?
Yeah.
So we'll bring this and some screwball. And that will be, then we'll be in trouble. All right.
I need a ride.
That's right. Up next, we have our Gamer Time segment where we look at some of the most challenging yet disturbing new technology processes for our industry. Let's start that segment now. All right. Would you pay money to move a competitor from a live esports event and decide to bench them. Have you ever played Fortnite and thought about that player that you're watching as an observer and think that you could have the ability just to say, I don't want that person to play anymore, and put in 25 cents, 50 cents of virtual currency and automatically have him kicked from the game? Well, Sony thinks that this is going to be the future as they have an interesting patent that came through this week. Sony patent lets viewers vote and pay to boot players from game. The PlayStation maker has been trying to take esports more seriously in 2020 and 21. Sony filed a patent for allow live streamers, spectators, and participants to remove players directly from a game. Yesterday, the United States Patent and Trade Office approved the patent, and you can read more about it by going and searching for a patent number. I won't say the patent number, but you can go to techtimeradio.com and get it. It's removing unskilled players and allowing spectators to pay for the privilege of removing players.
Now, see, on the surface, this sounds like a good idea, but this is going to get abused horribly.
So, so let's talk about that. That's in the patent documents. Sony outlined a system where spectators can vote to remove a player. The player would have no veto power over the decision. So if I'm playing and you decide let's say I'm playing Mario Kart, right? But it's a Sony game. But I'm playing Mario Kart. I'm running around. I'm just deciding to beat up on everybody. I keep on winning and winning. A bunch of people could be watching the stream, and if it was a streamed live game, they could decide to kick me and allow other people to participate, right?
Yeah.
Now, to avoid audience abuse in this patent, they say that a 60% voting threshold needs to be met in order to bench a player actively from the game. Spectators of higher skill levels will have their votes counted more heavily in the election.
See, again, that sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
But if you're really skilled, and all the players on the other team just want you out, and they can get together and vote you out. What good is it to being skilled? I mean, unless you're actually using this for what it needs to be used for, which is cheaters. And how do you prove that anyway? Mine's like, anytime I see something really unusual, they must be cheating.
That's right. We play a game sometimes on Saturday after the show late into the night. We play Sea of Thieves, right? And somebody comes on our boat and they're killing us real quick. It's like, he's cheating.
But that also panders to that audience that is they just don't, because one of the things that frustrates me most about video games is these top level players coming in and they just start creaming everybody because they can. So this would be a situation where you could get rid of that player.
You could,
but at the same point, you get better by playing against those people.
So you always get better. So a good old basketball coach that I used to have growing up, right? You only get better by playing better competition. And that really kind of is true, right? Because you have to work to how you're more creative. I'm going to come up with a better strategy.
But if you got a Twitch guy, right? He's got 1,000 followers, and he's playing a game, and he's like, I hate this guy. Hey, why don't we vote this guy out of here? You're suddenly putting an arbitrary restriction on this one player, and it doesn't even have to be a good player. It could be just somebody you're griefing, and which is what I think is going to be happening too. Is that people will start using this as a griefing platform and an abuse.
And what do you mean
platform.
by griefing?
Meaning they're like trolls.
Okay.
I play a game called Ark. Survival. And I play PvE. That's player versus environment.
Okay, player versus. So you're not player versus player, but player versus
the
AIs and the NPCs.
Yeah, you can't directly compete against them. So griefers will come around and place things around your stuff, so you can't build out anymore or anything like that. Other griefing is like camping. That's a
camping.
Form
I used to do that in
griefing.
Quake, right? In Quake 2, I'd be up in the corner with my grappling hook and shoot a rocket down when anybody would walk through the door because I could see.
And they do it to us on Sea of Thieves, where they'll just wait for the spawn points and kill you when you're coming in. So this is another way that griefers can grief other players.
So a lot of concern.
Wouldn't it be awesome if I could just say, "Hey, we're going to go attack this building over here with these guys in it. Gamer tag this, and this.
Yep.
Vote them out. Then we can
go in there and get all the treasure, right? So let me ask about this. Women are also facing already barriers in esports, right?
Yeah.
So a gender bias would be that not having women as skilled as men. Are you going to have all of a sudden a community of individuals say, you know what, let's have that female kicked who may be trying to learn and get to that level? It could be considered very likely to target specific races, specific individual genders, specific individual identities that these individuals have
This
too.
is a really bad idea. I mean, like I said, on the surface, it sounds like a good idea for certain aspects, but this is so easily going to be abused by the gaming community.
Well, I'll tell you that it can't be used by all the gaming community because a patent ensures the company's competitors like Xbox, Microsoft, Nintendo will not be able to have a similar system, as it's provided specifically having this patent to only allow Sony to be in charge of the in-game kicking of individuals from playing.
Yeah, that's going to last about as long as...
Again, think of Hunger Games, right? Think of the Hunger Game movies, right? So you're watching that, and they had all those fans watching. They're cheering on their district champion, right? And they're like, we want you to win so we can get some food. And all of a sudden, you're back at the Capitol, and you have 100,000 people playing, and you say, I want this person removed, this person removed, and boom, 60%, and they're gone.
Yeah, but it's another way of kind of classism. It's like if you have money, you can buy as many votes as you can. You can artificially change the outcome of a game by tearing up this player. Let's pull that player out, and
all right. So
it's just a bad idea.
So from moving from banning people, let's talk about recruiting people. So we're getting rid of people. Now we're going to go into our next story about recruiting
the
people.
The final thing about banning, they need to figure out a way that you can ban griefers because none of these things work real well.
Yeah.
The community is always going to find a way of griefing and
again. So that means that's a player that's really good. A griefer is somebody that's really good. And
no, they don't have to be really good. They can just be somebody that really just enjoys the game for the ability to impede other players. Okay. You know, they're trolls.
So let's say you're playing Age of Empires, which Age of Empires 4 comes out next week. The new game. I'm really excited about that. You're playing Age of Empires. If I build like a tower in the game, right, there's like 4 spots around it where I can't build anything else because it belongs to that other player. Essentially, the griefers go on in, exploit this. And there used to be that whole rushing in the Age of Empires game where people do that, and they got really hated because of that.
Yeah, anybody who knows ARC will understand when I talk about pillaring.
Yeah,
because they basically in the PvE you can stake out territory, and these people will come in and they will stake out the whole server with pillars, with buildable objects, so nobody else can build on there.
And it's not to enhance their experience; it's just to cause grief.
It's just to cause problems.
I did not know the word griefers. Now I do. Okay, well, we're going to move to the next story. All right, banning people is one thing. Now we're going to be talking about recruiting them for the mob or the cartel. Now, this sounds like something out of a movie script, right? But this is really real. This is not Far Cry video game. I just got the new Far Cry, and this sounds exactly like Far Cry of what you're doing, because it's the new Far Cry 6 that's out. You're in this guerrilla warfare, you're fighting, and they're trying to recruit you to go and dethrone the main dude that's like the bad guy in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. I forget his name, and I forget the actor's name, but he's that.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. Okay.
Darth, what's his name?
Yeah, also the guy with the sword in Mandalorian. That's right. All right, well, drug cartels in Mexico are recruiting youth through contacts made on multiplayer online video games, officials said this Wednesday. Ricardo Maja, Mexican Assistant Public Safety Secretary, said an apparent cartel recruiter had already bought bus tickets for 3 boys between the ages of 11 and 14. He said the boys met the recruiter in an online game platform called Free Fire, and the recruiter promised the boys $200 a week to work in North Mexico as a drug cartel lookout. The boys were found before they could board the bus, but the cartel operatives have been continuing to operate in this way, including recruiting people from online game and platforms, including Call of Duty, Gears of War, and Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah.
Well, this has been documented case of recruiting attempts over social media in the past. Officials said violence-soaked online game platforms offer recruiters a much larger target pool of youth, mainly male, young, fascinated by weapons, and somewhat desensitized to killing on a virtual level.
Yeah, this is gonna inflame a lot of people, but yeah. That the violence in the games helps desensitize the person to may not carry over into real life, but it helps them to desensitize stuff. There's also some emotional disturbances that can happen from this as well, which can be easily manipulated and taken advantage of, as we are seeing by these things. So if I'm playing a game where I can go around and just randomly beat up anybody I want to.
Grand Theft Auto 5, I mean, that's all really kind of about stealing
and I
cars,
right?
I
talked about griefers. You can see, if you really want a nice study of human behavior, you can see a lot of this weird stuff come out. You can see people who have psychopathic tendencies in these games because they'll do stuff that is virtually psychopathic. And because the game forum is a freedom of expression, which is why we love these things, it also creates these issues.
So the woman was attainted who essentially had bought the tickets under a false name. They did not name the cartel involved, but said similar cases occurred in September with an attempt for an online recruitment by the cartel del Norceta. Is that what it is? Noresti. And recruiters apparently have enough technology sophistication to get around most security algorithms on popular consoles. The recruiter said that they were going to give these individual boys guns and a lot of money. So guns and a lot of money.
Yeah. So in the games, you're teaching them how to it gives them a sense of power, right? So they're running around and they're racking up points, depending on what game you're playing. Right? You're either racking up money or in-game currency and stuff. So yeah, that's a very, very quick and easy way to draw somebody into the reality of crime and violence.
And so that is.
We don't like talking about it
because we don't want it to interrupt our games, right?
We don't want anything bad to shine on gaming because it's great.
Just remember when Mortal Kombat came out, right? So Mortal Kombat, they had fatalities, these big the type of deals. And now today's games, I remember my parents wouldn't allow me to play that. I could play Street Fighter because that was the nicer cartoon version, right? But yes, but I couldn't play that. And now we are at full online environments. And we're going to be talking about this in the second hour regarding Facebook's Metaverse and what they're trying to do with that, which is even more engaging than we probably should be. But this is essentially a recruitment tactic to get people that are probably young males, impressionable, probably struggling with home life, maybe finances not very.
Yeah, a lot of people who were smoking pot or doing drugs are also gaming. And so it's an easy platform. We've already talked about gambling in gaming. We've talked about I don't think we've talked so much about violence, but we've talked about all these aspects of gaming in the past that create opportunities for people who are looking for specific things.
They do. Well, that ends our segment. We're going to need to take a commercial break. When we return, we have a special Protect Yourself Today segment talking about this week's breaches, and we got 3 breaches. We have one from a loyal fan, actually sent in a email he received about a company that he works with that was breached also. So we'll be reading that on the air. That will be really exciting. I'm Nathan Mumm. We got Mike Day here, David Brown behind the board. We'll see you after this commercial break.
Did you know that up to 12 to 15% of Americans grind their teeth at night while they sleep? Yeah, it's called bruxism. I used to work at a sleep lab, and we used to measure that, and it leads to a lot of problems like headaches and destroys your teeth. It wears down the enamel, and it's just very hard on your mouth.
So every once in a while I'll wake up, my jaw will hurt. Do you think that I'm grinding my teeth at night?
Yep.
Well, so how do you go about protecting this then?
The number one recommended way of protecting yourself from teeth grinding is what's called a night guard, which is a custom fitted prosthetic that you put inside your mouth. It usually runs, hundreds of dollars, but I know our sponsor, Smile Brilliant, can get you custom fitted night guards for as little as $45 a piece.
So if you go to smilebrilliant.com and use TechTime Radio at checkout, you can receive 20% off your complete order. So visit smilebrilliant.com and use the TechTime Radio at checkout code. All right, welcome back to Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mum. We got Micro Day here, David Brown behind the board. We are going to go right into our next segment, Protect Yourself Today.
Protect yourself today.
All right, breach story number 1. The financial motivated Fin7 cybercrime gang has masqueraded as yet another fictitious cybersecurity company. Have you ever had a company call you up out of the blue saying that we could do a pin test for your company? If you do, immediately hang up the phone, because this is what cyber criminals are doing. They essentially secured the name Boston Secure to recruit unwitting software engineers under the guise of a penetration testing company that was being launched. So they take a company's name. Now, Boston Secure was actually a UK company that folded about 6 months ago. So they are listed on Google. They're listed in all of the locations with an address. They took over that address, immediately posted jobs on job boards, including Indeed, Monster, and other technical recruiting areas, where they were interviewing candidates for the supposed company and testing their PHP, their SQL database information, and many other items that would be used in a security breach itself. They actually go through the interview process where they actually talk about how to do a penetration test and how to leave client software on each of these machines.
Nice.
Now, essentially, always be careful, because if you have a company calling you up and they say that they are who they are and they want to come on in and do a penetration test for your business or small company or even just your home, a lot of these are calling into that. Do not accept that, because that company absolutely could be the bad guys that are taking a company's name, spending time to rebrand information, and try to come on out and get your security items. So, story number 2. This breach comes from our listener's email. Dear listener, it seems that Kingston Training Group emails have been hacked. I'm reading it right from the group, so sorry, Kingston Training Group. Various contacts have reached out that they have received false emails from unknown email addresses, claiming to be myself or Tanya from the training group. KTG has addressed this by changing our passwords internally, but we would like you to discard any email that looks suspicious coming from Tina Miller or Kate Kingston in the next week or so to protect your technology infrastructure. Thank you so much, and sorry for the disturbance in your workday. Now, KTG is exclusively trains business, technology, sales executives, and managers on IT managed services, security, and protection. So, if you are paying for a security provider that provides you managed IT services, technical solutions, and MSP information mailing and technology, and they get compromised, please go and find a different company, because they're probably not finding very good practices to protect themselves, let alone a customer. Thank you for that. Mailed in from our listener. Again, you can always go to techtimeradio.com, click on Be a Caller, and submit these information to us, and we'll read them on the air. Story 3, ransomware. Stay steady in Q3 of 2021. So there's now a financial report that gets published publicly and on the dark web of how, just the ransomware technology is trending. So right now, it's $140,000 per security breach for quarter 3 of 2021. It's not up and it's not down, and it's almost the same number from Q2.
Boy, for people who are doing things behind the scenes and illegally, they sure have a really good infrastructure.
We do, to track it and see how we're doing. So if you get a ransomware request for over $140,000, then you're above the Mendoza line. And if it's under, well, then congratulations, pay it and continue on.
What's the Mendoza line?
The Mendoza line? That's the Mendoza line. When you go past the Mendoza line.
Where does that come from?
That's a Nathan thing. I don't know. Is David, you have it? Is it baseball?
Yeah, it's kind of baseball related based on your batting average.
That's right. There you go. See, David was all over that. I use the Mendoza line. That's whatever the average is, and so if you're above or below, that's what it is. All right. So let me just say, ransomware incidents response firm said that through July and August, the ransomware ability is holding steady on the ransomware they're charging customers.
Thank you for using our ransomware. If you have any questions or concerns, please call our dedicated
support line that will always answer.
And we will give you help.
Now, the reason why it didn't increase for quarter 3 was because DarkSide ceased operations, and it was rebranded as Black matter, so they were down a little bit. Revil went offline in July for unexplained reasons, but it resurfaced in September, so they're thinking that they're going to have an increase in Q4.
Okay.
The same month, security from Bitdefender also published notes that they think that this will continue to go high.
Where's the ransomware stock exchange? I want access to that.
You want access to that? Ransomware attacks right now are on their infancy stages for Q4 of creating new and adverse ways to attack people.
Yeah, I'm when I hear these things, I just want to go into the woods.
Do you want to just go in the middle of no man's land?
I'm just so tired of this stuff that I just want to just fold up everything and just go.
Well, now we're going to report quarterly on how the ransomware stuff is going, right?
If we can get a quarterly report now on the...
We can. We're going to have that event. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's crazy.
This is the first quarterly report where they've done this, but now it looks like this is going to be a trend.
The fact that they got data now.
Oh, yeah. They have.
Yeah, we're tracking everything. We can't stop it, but we'll tell you when the storms are coming.
So don't be a part of the Q4 insurgent.
Yeah.
That's right. Insurgent. Don't click on that link, and we'll be talking about this in the second hour. So make sure you do that. That's right. All right. When we return, we're going to take a commercial break. We have Mike's mesmerizing moment brought to us by Story Coffee, the pick of the day, and then we are almost through the first hour of our 2-hour show. So we got lots of information. I'm Nathan Mumm. We got David Brown behind the board. Mike Corday here. We'll see you on Tech Time Radio after this break.
Hey, Mike.
What?
Have you heard of Elderberry?
Only in reference to a Monty Python movie.
Well, let me tell you, Elderberry Boost. Again, that's elderberry-boost.com.
Elderberry Boost.
Yes, Mike, that's Elderberry Boost. You can choose organic Elderberry Boost, that 8-ounce size. That's available on sale right now at $11.99. But you're listening here right now on Tech Time Radio, so you need to go to Elderberry. That's ELDERBERRY-boost.com and get some today.
Elderberry Boost.
Elderberry is an all-natural organic immune system booster and antiviral. Elderberry is known to actively fight against viruses, including colds and the flu. It also works as a natural remedy for allergies, cancer, digestion, heart disease, high cholesterol, headache, toothache, weight loss, and reduced inflammation.
It's a natural and healthy diuretic and has many antiviral properties. While it is famous for fighting the flu, it is effective for any illness.
Elderberry Boost was created to provide a quality organic elderberry to their customers. After searching years ago for a perfect elderberry syrup, none could be found, so they essentially created their own homemade recipe.
If you would like to get 15% off your first order of Elderberry Boost, just put in the discount code TechTime at checkout.
Again, that's elderberry-boost.com.
Elderberry Boost.
You go, hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, have you ever heard of Unidragon.com?
Have I ever heard of Unidragon.com?
Yes, Unidragon.com.
Why, yes, I have heard of Unidragon.com. That's the puzzle dude.
The puzzle dude, that's correct. He has tons of puzzles, and of course, he is the best and original wooden puzzles.
You have owls.
Guess what is the #1 best-selling puzzle?
The owl.
Do you think you had anything to do with that?
No, everybody loves owls.
Well, right now, you can get 40% off in stock if you go to unidragon.com/products/enchanting owl. You need to make sure you get yours today. Now, they also have 2 to 6 days for shipping and domestically ship within the United States. They have a great customer support. If you ever have any questions regarding your puzzle, except for how to put it together, you can email them at care@unidragon.com. If you want to get 10% off, you can use our code DRAGONTECH. Again, that's Dragon, DRAGON, Tech, TECH, for a 10% off discounts. Now, if you want the original, go to unidragon.com. Beware of fakes. Only get your wooden puzzles at unidragon.com.
Get them all.
This is Mike's Mesmerizing Moment, presented by Story Coffee. Visit storycoffee.com.
Oh.
All right, so I got a question for you, Mike.
Okay, what is it?
All right. Apple took down the Quran app in China. Apple has taken down one of the most popular Quran apps in China following a request from officials.
What about that?
Well, I don't know. Why is China removing all items from the Apple Store, the Google Store? What do you think China is doing? Because they're trying to regulate a bunch of stuff and removing apps that are kind of big staples that have been around forever.
Well, as we've talked about last week, we talked about LinkedIn pulling all their stuff out of, because they were the only operating
social media platform in China.
In China, they finally pulled it because of the government's insistence on certain regulations, and this is the problem with this government, right? So they try to disregard or try to stop outside influences, right? Because as humans, we influence each other, so they want to keep people from influencing their culture, specifically anything that gets the government painted into a negative light. Okay. So I don't know why they did that, but that's concerning, because we're seeing a lot of these attempts to become more isolationist as a whole, and what that means for people in China is that the government is filtering all the information they get, so the people in China formulate narratives based only on that information. So they have no idea what's going on outside their borders, right? This is the same thing with North Korea. North Korea is heavily regulated as well. So the fact that they're getting rid of this app, who knows? Maybe this is a point where they're going to start doing that all over the place, because they want to get rid. The
whole idea of the internet, though, was to have kind of that freedom of speech, right? Per se, was that you could go and find out anything about information.
Yeah, it's one of the most. As awful as it is, it's one of the most democratic things that we have out there, because if you know how to get it, you can access anything.
Correct.
Right? And China is trying to control that information. When you have people who are trying to control, it's like your boss trying to control information. It's like Facebook, it's like all these other companies trying to control how people see them, how people react to news, try to spin off negative information so it sounds less negative, things like that. We're trying to maintain images and create narratives for the people that are involved with us. Cults do this. This is a cult. This is like a cult-like behavior. Yep. They are now isolating people from the rest of the world so that they don't get those outside influences.
So here's the thing. Apple chose to remove apps, right? So they've done that for China. Google has done that with their Google Play Store. What happens to the point when Google and Apple says, you know what? No, we're going to continue to let that app be available there in this country. We're not going to remove that. Then all of a sudden Apple gets completely replaced, and you start pulling up all the Apple devices in China. And
that's an easy step to take. They've already done it with all they have state sponsored social media already. They have state sponsored eBay. They have all kinds of state sponsored things that mimic those that we know. So it would be an easy thing, and I'm sure Apple wants to tread carefully, because that's income they don't want to lose. And we do have a lot of trade agreements, a lot of products that get made in China.
Yep.
And so.
Do you know what's really interesting on the dark web? Let me tell you about the dark web, which I play around in a little bit. We kind of say that a little bit sometimes, right? So I have my own Tor browser page that I go to. Have my own Tor browser. We talked about it here on TechTime Radio. If you go back to an episode, I explained how to actually get on the dark web itself. So doing some little research about this, because we talked about this in our Thursday production meeting. Do you know that they have the Bible and the Quran on the dark web? And those are the most accessed documents, the largest accessed information of anything right now on the dark web. It's not fake COVID-19 diseases.
No, that's true. That's true across the board. The Bible is the best-selling book in the country. I'm sure the Quran is also one of the most highly sought-after pieces of literature, if you want to put it into that perspective. But it's because it speaks to some of our most basic needs as humans, right? We need these things to help us deal with our lives, whether you're a believer or not. Whether you believe in God, whether you believe in Allah, we have a need to try and explain our existence. And it's hard to imagine an existence that doesn't go past our death date. So we have all these things, and
China, so dark web is going to blow up again with this, right? So right now the Chinese government I know that they're trying to block the easy access, but what happens is then all it does is it
always
just
goes,
tunnels down, and these people get aggressive on that.
That's right. It always goes underground, and the biggest issues is how is that affecting the narrative of the Chinese people?
All right. Well, we got our pick of the day: the Old Camp Peach Pecan Whiskey. I'm giving it a full pecan. Thumbs up. You give it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, make sure you join us for the second hour. In the second hour, we have our letter segment. We have the latest phishing attempts, email scams, and frauds sent to your host, myself. We'll be reading those out loud. Then we plan on having open phone lines. You can call us now at 425-373-5527, 888-298-KKNW. Get on the list. We already have people queued up, ready to ask us questions. I am Nathan Mumm. We got Mike Roday here, David Brown behind the board. We'll see you hour 2 right after this.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/TechTimeRadio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, mum's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.
The views expressed on this program are those of the
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, have you heard of How I Died, a fictional podcast?
No, I have not. Why don't you tell me about it?
Yeah, let me tell you about it. It's a fictional podcast with a full cast of voice actors and high-quality production value. It's essentially like listening to an old-time radio program that you would listen to back in the 50s or 60s, sitting around your radio in family time. It's all scripted. It's a series that follows John Spacer, a forensic pathologist who solves murders by speaking to the dead. No one knows about John's gift, and he has to hide it from his boss. The series takes place in the mysterious town of Springfield, the death capital of the U.S. The first episode follows John on his first day of his new job, unsure of how to handle the case of a mother's death during a kidnapping. 2 seasons are out now, with the first season uncovering the mystery of a potential serial killer. The show has passed over 1 million downloads since launch, with a vibrant community all trying to solve mysteries along with the show.
Sounds cool.
It is really pretty cool. You can find them online by going to audiohmmedia.com. Again, that's audiohmmedia.com, or you can take a look at them at any of your standard podcast services. It's How I Died, the podcast. Mike,
what?
Have you heard of One Day University?
No, what is that?
Well, let me tell you about them. Remember that college where that one professor who was so popular students would line up to get a spot before they graduated? Well, now One Day University brings over 200 plus of the top-rated professors online to present incredible live stream talks based on their most popular courses.
Wow, that's kind of like TED Talks for college students.
Think of professors selected from schools across the country, including Yale, Stanford, Harvard, UCLA, Duke, Michigan, Columbia, and many more. Every week, One Day University offers a new 1-hour live stream talk followed by a live question and answer from the professor. Members also get access to a library of over 500 past recorded talks, all available on demand. You can learn something new every day about history, politics, arts, science, music, psychology, and much more. No homework or test, just the joy of learning new things from incredible professors.
Yeah, this is right up my alley.
I know, it is exciting. Memberships are just $8.95 a month or $89 a year, but you can try 2 weeks for free.
Dun dun dun. That's cool.
Plus, if you use code TechTime Radio and sign up for an annual plan, you'll get your first year for half price. That's right, 50% off deal. You gotta grab this now.
It's only $8.95 a month or $89 per year and includes unlimited access.
Do you want to try out 2 weeks for free? Learn more and start your 2-week free trial at onedayu.com/techtime. Learn more and start your 2-week free trial today. Just visit www.onedayu.com/techtime, or you can use that promo code TechTime Radio for half off your annual membership plan. Hurry now. Don't let this great TechTime Radio deal pass you by. You go, hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, have you ever heard of Unidragon.com?
Have I ever heard of Unidragon.com?
Yes, Unidragon.com.
Why, yes, I have heard of Unidragon.com. That's the puzzle dude.
The puzzle dude, that's correct. He has tons of puzzles, and of course, he is the best and original wooden puzzles.
You have owls.
Guess what is the #1 best-selling puzzle?
The owl.
Do you think you had anything to do with that?
No, everybody loves owls.
Well, right now, you can get 40% off in stock if you go to unidragon.com/products/enchanting owl. You need to make sure you get yours today. Now, they also have 2 to 6 days for shipping and domestically ship within the United States. They have a great customer support if you ever have any questions regarding your puzzle, except for how to put it together. You can email them at care@unidragon.com. If you want to get 10% off, you can use our code DRAGONTECH. Again, that's Dragon, DRAGON, Tech, TECH, for a 10% off discounts. Now, if you want the original, go to unidragon.com. Beware of fakes. Only get your wooden puzzles at unidragon.com.
Get them all.
Coming to you from the shores of the Pacific Northwest. Keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side. With leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mum.
Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mum, the show that makes you go, Technology news of the week. The show
Pecan.
Pecan. the show for everyday common person with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. I'm Nathan Mum, and welcome to our show. We are live streaming it today. Of course, you can go to Twitch TV /TechTime Radio. You can go to YouTube /TechTime Radio. You can go to Twitter /TechTime Radio. Facebook.com /TechTime Radio until they hear our Facebook article later on the show, and then maybe it won't be there any longer. But we are always on Saturdays from 4 to 6 p.m. live here in the Pacific Northwest at our home station, KKNW 1150. We got Mike Gorday here. David Brown is behind the board, and I'm your host, Nathan Mum. Today's show, we're going to have some call-in segments. So right now, if you have the ability, you're driving around, make sure you pull over to the road. Don't try to drive with your knees and talk on the phone at the same time. But you can join us at 425-373-5527, or you can call the 188 number at 188-298-KKNW. Again, that's 888-298-KKNW or 5569. This is the show with information that will make you go 2 hours. So if you're catching us on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, 4 to 6 p.m., and on Sunday, guess what? You're catching a rebroadcast of the show, which means that you will need to go to techtimeradio.com to get all of the latest and greatest information. And again, techtimeradio.com, great website. There's newsletter information. You can sign up for our newsletter. You can click over in the top to be a caller. Right now, we do have some callers, and we appreciate the callers that have called in to remain on the line. If you are wanting to come on in and the line are busy, David will answer them as soon as possible. So just keep on calling, and he'll pick up the line itself. We are a 2-hour technology show. Without having to geek out, we cover the top technology.
David!
That's right.
Hooked on Phonics worked for you, didn't it?
That's right. There you go. All right.
Where's the button?
All right. Okay. Let's officially start the show.
Yes, let's start the show. That's on the same thing where my Hooked on Phonics is, isn't it?
Yeah.
God.
Hooked on Phonics worked for you, didn't it, Dave?
Yes, it did. I got to
Now on today's show.
There we go. On today's show, we are going to be talking about our letter segment where we look at the latest phishing attempts, email scams, and fraud sent to the host. Then we're planning to open the phone lines. We have people already ready to ask the experts. Mike Gorday and myself are going to be the experts to answer these questions. And then we have a great deal we're going to be talking about for all the Jedis in your family. Are you a Jedi fan?
I am a Jedi fan.
Would you consider yourself a Jedi?
Well, that's in my mind.
Yeah, in your mind.
Sure. Why
okay.
not?
All right. Well, we have a special item that's on sale. It's going to be our steal of the week. We're going to be talking about an item for Jedi that everybody should jump on now because Luke, you are my father. All right, and
dude,
then we're gonna,
dude. If you're gonna quote that right, you gotta quote it right. Luke, I am your father.
No, he never.
Look at that.
No,
he doesn't say that.
No.
What? He doesn't say I'm your father.
He says, "Never mind."
What does he say?
Do you remember? I just think of the Strange Brewing.
Oh, you say that's the Strange.
Luke, I'm your father. Come to the dark side, you knob.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm your host. We got Mike Gorday here. We are going to start, of course, as we do each of our shows, with our loaded question of the day, brought to you by Elderberry Boost. Get your Elderberry Boost today at elderberry-boost.com. All right, here's our question.
Elderberry Boost.
Mr. Gorday, David Brown, what is your favorite sandwich?
Oh.
Favorite sandwich?
Favorite sandwich. Reuben or a hot pastrami.
Oh, a hot pastrami. Why do you like a hot pastrami?
I like pastrami.
You like the cheese all melted on that? Swiss cheese?
Yeah. Swiss cheese. Cheddar cheese.
Any cheese?
Any cheese.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Pepper jack.
Pepper jack. David, we're going to go to you. What's your favorite sandwich?
Probably either a turkey or a turkey ham combination.
Oh.
Basically, because you can either have it plain or you can add veggies. It doesn't matter. It depends on the mood I'm in.
Now, do you put mayonnaise on it or do you put Miracle Whip?
It's mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise, because it used to be Miracle Whip was like the hot thing back in the 80s.
Nope, bye-bye Miracle Whip. It's regular mayonnaise.
It's regular mayonnaise. Okay. So you got to do the mayonnaise. I got you.
Is it like Palanderol fruit?
Well, and I would say...
Would you please pass the jelly?
I would say my favorite sandwich is a tuna melt.
Gross.
No. Let me just tell you, when I worked at Microsoft for my
I know.
10
I
plus
know this story.
every day
you would go get a
tuna melt and French fries.
You like the tuna water?
Yeah, well, I'll just tell you, it was like $3.25.
That's like cheap.
It was the cheapest sandwich on their deal, so I could get it for $3.25.
Tuna soup.
That's right. No, I don't like tuna soup. No, all right. Okay. All right. Well, let's now move and get our second hour started. As we always do, we like to start our episode with informative emails that I received during the week. This includes scams, phishing emails, and all-out mistruths disguised as legitimate emails in a segment we call Letters.
Letters, we get letters. We get back and back of letters. Oh, letters, we get letters. And the letters all have songs.
All right, letters. I am up first, and then Mike Gorday reads one, and then we keep on bannering as we go through email scams. Now, I received this from Nicole Banyan at FordUBAIG_16jobs.com. So that sounds like a legitimate job offer, doesn't that? No. Okay. I have Dubois job opportunity for Nathan Mum.
Oh,
Dear Nathan Mum, we found your profile on LinkedIn and noticed you have work experience relevant to the Chief Information Officer job role, so we think you should be interested in this role. There are more than 20 plus employers who are currently hiring for candidates for 49 plus job vacancies similar to your experience. To get the valuable skills and work experience, we need you to fill out an online profile for $49 to ensure that we correctly route your LinkedIn resume.
Listen to that.
Please click on here. It says, please click on here to continue process.
So they want you to pay $49 to put your profile to these Dubai companies.
Yes, that I am currently, there's 49 plus vacancies. For a chief information officer in Dubai. If you have 49 vacancies, then you got a lot of businesses running without an IT person.
I know.
So that's not bode well for Dubai's infrastructure.
If you're paying people to give you a job interview, that's pretty bad.
Yeah. So let me tell you one thing. If you are applying for jobs in any way, you should never ever have to pay for a recruiter, to pay for anybody to come in and help you up to your resume. Now you may pay for someone to edit a resume.
Yeah, maybe edit, but no.
If you're there are coaches. I know you cringe at that word.
Everybody's a coach nowadays.
Right? I know.
Yeah.
They offer a service, right? So there are services where they can help you develop a resume, things like that. So
and that's very valid and useful.
That is valid, right? But if you're paying a job board to find you jobs, not
kosher. Do not be clicking on that link. That's so when I clicked on the link, so this is what they did. They wanted my credit card number, right? And so I put in a fake credit card number, and it actually went through to click on next. So it didn't even have the real verification.
It didn't have the verification?
No. So I put in a fake credit card number. I clicked next to go on in, and then they had 500 questions. So let me just tell you, if I'm paying you like $49 American money, and then I got to fill out 500 questions.
Well, that's legit, isn't it?
Why would I pay $49 to you?
They need to find out who you are.
No. So I started answering, and they were pretty realistic questions. So literally, if you put it in there.
What's your greatest weakness?
Yes, and all the things. If you had a disgruntled employee, how would you handle it? And they had 4 areas, and then they have the one where you could type in your own type of deal. And I just wanted to hit all the type in and put in some stuff in there. But by the second question, I'm like, listen, I'm not filling out 500 questions on my fake credit card number that I put in here to continue. So there we go. That was my
guess
fake
what?
One. Yes.
You're not getting that job.
I'm not going to Dubai either. Yeah. So there you go. You're up next. Do you have something interesting there that was sent to me?
Are you going to Dubai or Dubai?
Dubai.
Dubai?
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 But how's it pronounced?
Saying it that way?
Dubai?
Dubai.
Dubai.
No, there's no W there.
There's no W?
Dubai.
Isn't that how the B's pronounced?
Dubois.
Dubois?
I don't know.
Okay.
Click on phonics worked for you, didn't it?
Okay.
There it is.
There we go. All right. You have the next email letters.
Okay. This is from Kaveri at analyticsinsight.net. And this is long. This has got like 3 or 4 emails on it. So I'm just going to read some of it.
Okay.
So the subject is regarding Nathan Mum
Okay.
has been chosen to feature in the 10 most innovative CIOs to follow in 2021. So
Wow.
you got a high honor there.
I won an award.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, dear Nathan,
Yeah.
just checking to know whether you got a chance to review my previous email with the proposal.
Yeah, and I looked through no other emails.
Please confirm if we can finalize the deal at a huge discounted offer of $500 as we are soon reaching the publishing date. Your
Whoa, hang on.
response
Whoa.
is appropriate. So,
What?
yeah.
So they want me to pay some money?
Yeah, sounds like it. So let me read a little bit more.
Okay.
Dear Nathan, I have a piece of good news.
Okay.
My editorial team has suggested me to offer you the leadership profile, quote unquote, feature
Yeah.
in the 10 most innovative CIOs to follow in 2021 for $500 instead of the standard $1,000 as we are working on a tight deadline.
Oh, so I got a discount.
Yeah.
I got a discount to buy an award? Is that what it kind of is?
Well, yeah, you have to buy this award so you can get the job that you pay for on that other place.
Oh, okay.
So
So
if I get this award,
so I pay $500 to become the CIO of the year. Is that the CIO of the year?
the most innovative 10 most innovative CIOs to watch for in 2021.
So what if I only get 10 and they have like 9 people ahead of me? That's because I only paid the $500 discount.
That's right.
Okay.
But you only got 2 months to do this, so you only get to be the 10 most innovative for 2 months. So I don't know. You know what? I would just go down to Tom's Trophy Shop and buy yourself something because
a trophy that says CIO of the year,
yeah,
or world's best boss. I can put that on my my desk.
That's world's best boss. There you go. Watch The Office and learn how to do that properly.
There you go.
So yeah, don't fall for that. That's pandering to your ego and trying to get money out of you that way,
so
which is actually an pretty easy way to do things. I'm sure a lot of people. So there's probably
like 500.
There's probably
top 10
100
CIOs.
top 10 CIOs that have fallen for this already.
All right, here we go. I got a thing here from 1Password. Now, 1Password is a legit password manager to keep track of my password. But 1Password, out of the clear blue, sent me an email. Says, please confirm your email address. Enter this code on 1Password to verify your page, password to verify page to continue sign up. So it sent me a code in email. Now, when I took a look at it, I'm like, well, 1Password, I actually use LastPass. So why would I have signed up for 1Password? I must have done this in my sleep because it was at 5:37 a.m. that this came in. Mm-hmm. So I must have been signing up for this at 5 a.m. in the morning. And this was the automated.
Oh, I do that every night.
Okay.
I just randomly sign up for stuff.
And it's 1Password. It's lpassword.com.
Elderberry Boost.
So essentially the 1 is an L, but if you don't look at it close enough, when you look in the email signature, it actually almost looks like 1Password, which is their deal because they actually use, instead of the number 1, they use the L key.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I did not click on the link. I did not sign up for 1Password, but be careful if you receive something that has maybe just one letter off, because if you click on it, you could be a victim. All right. You have one more there?
I do.
All right. This one looks exciting here.
This is exciting.
Okay.
So this is from Eagle Cash Loans.
Have you ever heard of Eagle Cash Loans?
Never heard of them.
Okay.
But here's the email address if you want to verify that. So you would think it would be so-and-so at eaglecashloans.com.
Yeah.
It is capital I, capital N, capital U, little g, little a, capital U, capital I, at disturbin.be.
Oh, really? So why wouldn't they be called the Disturbin loans then?
I don't know.
Okay.
Inuga Yui at disturbin.be.
Oh, that seems legit.
So,
Are they going to help me out?
The subject is "We got you covered." It says Eagle Cash Loans, and then there's a picture of a jack-o'-lantern that's crying.
A jack-o'-lantern that's crying.
A crying jack-o'-lantern.
And that's all that is in the
that's
email.
All it, yeah.
So no happy Halloween or anything?
Nothing.
No happy Halloween. And do you know what was really bad about it? Is I tried to click on anywhere on that thing. There's no link to click on anything either.
Really?
Yeah, so you try to click on the picture, nothing happens. You try to so if I had to connect to Eagle Cash Loans, I would have had to have actually
you know what?
There's a get started now that was way down on the page. Did
Oh,
you not see that?
I probably didn't scroll all the way down. They should have put it up higher because I only looked at the first page. So I guess if I would have scrolled through to the back page, maybe I could have clicked on something.
I'm thinking they're just trick or treating you.
Okay, that's it is, trick or treat. All right. You know what? We have lots more to do. We're going to post some of these now on our website. So if you go to techtimeradio.com, you can start looking underneath our blog posts. I'm going to take some random articles that we don't use. I'm going to put them up there and actually go through and explain why you should be paying attention to these articles, especially like the 1Password, where the letter L is essentially the 1 to make sure that you don't get compromised. So go check out techtimeradio.com.
Yeah, it's almost always scrutinizing the email that it's sent from.
Correct. That is it. That is the height for that. Now, before we end this segment, though, and we go to a commercial break, I got a steal of the week that I want to play. So think of
why we have a steal of the week in the middle of our letter segment?
Well, because we had our production meeting, and we talked about this before the air, right? So if you are, 35 and older, you love letters. That's what we've found out in our survey polls from everything that we have here. 35 and above, you love letters. If you're 21 to that 30...
If you're 35 and younger.
35 and younger.
Let's do it that way.
Okay, 35 and younger, you don't really like letters, and you want steals and deals every week. That's what you want. That's what we found out in our surveys. So we're going to pander to both sides of our demographic.
Very good
here.
word use.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, you're just copying me.
I am. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We have a special... So cue Star Wars music. So you were talking about Star Wars. You got some Star Wars music? Do. Okay, here we go. There
That's Superman.
That's
Superman. What are you doing?
All right,
Good question.
All right, here we go. Star Wars fans can pretend to defend the galaxy with their laser sword on sale. The Cyberblade Dagger Laser Sword is $106 as of October 22nd at 26% savings.
Is this not a lightsaber?
This is not a Lucasfilm.
Is this like
Disney license?
Like the Spock helmet from the 70s with the little twisty light?
Well,
on the
no.
top?
This is considered like if you're into the cosplay stuff or LARPing. Do you know what LARPing is?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so I'm not going to explain LARPing.
It's a shame that I do, but I know what LARPing stands for.
That's live
action role playing.
That means that you go out in the middle of a field with a bunch of friends.
Yeah, there's some really funny movies about that. I can't remember.
And you have a dice in your pocket. And so, like, if me and you are fighting, I come on up with my Star Wars sword here that was the Cyberblade, the dagger sword, and I'd say I'm attacking you, and then I'd like hit your arm, and then I'd roll out my dice and I'd throw it, and I'd be like 5, and then you'd roll out your dice and you'd throw it at 6, and I'll be like, oh, you didn't hit me, Nathan, and I'd be like, oh no. And then you'd come back to me and say, now I'm going to hit you, Nathan. Yeah. And then you roll a dice and it's a 5 and I only roll a 3 and I'm like, oh, now I can only use my left arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what those are.
Yeah, I know. I know what they are.
All right. So we got the sale here. At a rate of technology advancing, the legit lightsaber is a knockoff from the Star Wars licensed brand, but is considered the best blade to use for any cosplay dress up or any items if you actually want to go out and hit the swords of people. So these are full combat swords where you can fight 100, 200 times and have real contact. Now, you can't just whack somebody to take their head off, but if you're having sword fights and you want to have it, this is the sword to get.
This is the polycarbon blade, right, thing?
But that is correct, yes.
It is unlicensed.
It is unlicensed.
Unlicensed Cyberblade laser sword.
So it has 11,
pew, pew.
11 light colors. It's detachable battle-ready blade. The hilt is precision-milled, aerospace-grade aluminum, and a CNC machine to create the ergonomic grip that feels comfortable for you to actually swing it. So instead of having all that fake rosary-type stuff that would actually hurt if you're
trying... What are you talking about?
If you see one of the swords from Disneyland, they have all this extra goop that they put on it to make it look better than what the really sword is. You just probably have a straight... So when Obi-Wan and Darth Vader fought in A New Hope, there was nothing really fancy on that blade. No. It's just a standard blade. It goes doom. Now all the new ones, you got Rey out there. She's got 5 customizations to the blade. You got Kylo Ren, and his got his funky sideways blade. So the traditional blade is what it's done. It has tons of sound effects.
Boy, you really got into this, didn't you?
I did. It runs on 120 mAh batteries that can easily be recharged via the USB port. that is available, so you can keep them in the sword itself. You plug in the USB cable with rechargeable
you carry
batteries.
around your computer with a USB and swinging around.
Well, if you're going to one of these real live action live plays, yeah, you probably are.
Extra
That's
long
right.
USB cord. Hey,
all right, the Cyberblade is also designed to withstand hits, and it is the best. It is normally $199. It's sometimes reduced to $145, but right now it's $106. And you can just Google this. I'm not going to give the URL out, but Google Cyberblade Dagger Laser Sword, and you'll be able to go directly to their site.
Dagger Laser Sword.
That's all right. No, Cyberblade Dagger Laser Sword, and get it right now for $106.99. I think two boys are getting that for Christmas.
Okay.
All right, here we go. We are going to take a commercial break.
I would rather have a dagger and a sword.
Would you? Would you?
Yeah, instead of a dagger sword.
Well, okay. We're going to take a commercial break. We have some callers on the line, so if you would like to join us, you can call 425-373-5527 or 888-298-KKNW. Hopefully we'll get through all the calls as quick as possible when we return, because we are going to have to pay tribute to our sponsors right now. Thank you.
Upper Left Corner is a PNW true crime podcast now streaming on all major podcast platforms. If you get excited when your favorite true crime podcast tells a story about a place that you've been to or the town that you live in, then Upper Left Corner podcast is for you. Each week, I tell you a story of a crime that has taken place in the PNW and give you background about the town the crime occurred in. If you like true crime, check out Upper Left Corner podcast, now available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and more.
Ace Hardware is a helpful place with prompt, friendly service, knowledge, and the little things that make a big difference.
Service.
Selection.
Advice.
Community involvement.
Competitive prices.
Convenience.
Located near you.
And the things you need, such as
house keys,
lawn and garden,
plumbing,
electrical,
hardware,
grills,
outdoor living supplies,
and even nuts and bolts.
When you visit Ace Hardware, you'll be greeted at the door and given the help you need.
So come visit us at Ace Hardware in Evergreen Way in Everett, Lake Stevens, and now Stanley.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
All right, welcome back to TechTime Radio. I'm your host, Nathan Moe. We got Microday here, David Brown behind the board. This is the technology show that makes you go, technology news of the week. We just got through our letter segment. We also talked about our steal of the week, which is our imitation lightsaber.
Laser dagger. Sword.
That's right. And now we are going to move into our next segment as we have some callers that are on the air, and we're going to call this our Ask the Expert segment.
This is a segment we call Ask the Experts.
That's like deja vu.
That's right. Well, I said it. That's we got open phone calls, so you know what? We're experts here, so you better be on your game. This is the bad part about doing live calls is if you don't know what to do, if you don't know the answer, you're gonna be like, "I'll get back to you." That's what you say.
I don't know is a perfectly reasonable way to answer things.
Okay, I like that. Okay, here we go. David, you have somebody?
Yes, the first person on the line here is Kari or Carrie. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name, and her subject is about job opportunities. That's the subject of her question. Carrie or Kari, sorry. Go right ahead.
Hey, my name is Carrie. I was just wondering if you guys had any suggestions in regards to jobs and technology, if there was a place that you would suggest to go to look for jobs or career opportunities.
So she was probably listening in the first hour.
Maybe.
All right, so career opportunities but it is Carrie.
I was just going to say get a job, but it sounds like she already wants one.
So I would say the best places to find a job that I've been at is probably Indeed. Have you used Indeed before?
Yes, we talk about Indeed quite a bit. I prefer not using the superpower ones like Indeed and Monster because there's too much spam involved.
Okay. So you don't like Monster either?
No, not a big fan.
Okay.
But, regionally we try to direct people to regional job boards.
So in the Pacific Northwest, what would be a regional job board that you would recommend?
The local WorkSource in your area has a job board that is powered by Monster, so that's a good one.
Okay, so WorkSource. Okay, and I would say LinkedIn is like the worst place to do it. So LinkedIn has all these job opportunities. I've looked before and I never did it. Do you know where I actually got a great job offer if you were looking for? Was at Craigslist. You know what? At Craigslist.
No, I'm laughing because it's true. There's some people tell me they get pretty good jobs off of Craigslist all the time.
And it's so easy for the employer to post a job on Craigslist. I think it's like $9 or something like that, one-time fee, and you can do it in a matter of seconds. Whereas the job posters for these HR departments that use the large Indeed.com and Monster stuff, it is so troublesome to try to post a job to get someone to come through the system. And then with Indeed and some of these other ones, they have algorithms pre-built into it so that they can go through and scan the jobs and say, okay, well, I want someone with a bachelor's degree, I want someone with a master's, I want this. And so they pre-filter out, which is kind of a shame.
Well, that's why you got these huge novels nowadays of these company jobs where they're like, come join us to this innovative blah, 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 and they go and go and go and they go and you're just trying to find the qualifications. Like, where the heck are they?
Yep.
And they're at the bottom of this 5-wheel scroll.
So I would say as for if you're looking for a technology job specifically, I still do like Indeed and I do like Craigslist. And you said Worksource?
I don't know if they're the
regionalized
hottest place for. Yeah, I don't know if they're the hottest place for specific sectors, but if you're in Bellevue and Redmond, you're likely to see more local jobs in those settings, I would guess, than if you were in Spokane.
So I've also seen on, I think it was on House. Is that the place? It's like kind of your local trades in different areas. I see a lot of trades also still post their open job recs on Craigslist. So that seems to be a pretty popular site also.
So that probably doesn't answer her question, but there you have a direction.
You have a direction. So if you're looking for a technology job, then maybe Indeed and Craigslist. If you're looking for a local job in the Pacific Northwest, then Worksource. If you want to try to play job roulette, then you can go to the big boards. I've also seen Dice. I don't know if Dice is owned by also Monster, one of those algorithms. I've seen some stuff with that too.
There's so many of these things out there, it's not even funny.
Whatever happened to the old version where you used to look
They still have those.
Newspaper jobs?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they're online, but you can go to the local paper online and they'll have a jobs.
Well, that's that. Too. There you go. That's a great place to look too. Okay. All right. Do you have somebody else there, David?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, we have Helen on the line, and the subject of her question has to do with malware. Helen, go right ahead.
My name is Helen, and I was wondering what types of malware I should be worried about.
All of them.
Oh, boy. What types of malware should... There's a couple that are the top malware, but essentially malware is anything that comes on your computer that is not supposed to be there, that takes over operational control of that. So one of the big ones right now is called the Clop Ransomware.
The Clop?
C-L-O-P.
Clop
Ransomware. And essentially what this does is this comes on into Windows-based PC. So, the whole Windows and Mac thing, right? So you're saying, well, if I have a Mac, I'm secure. I don't have to worry about malware. That's not true. But at least this malware specifically attacks Windows systems. And what Clop does is it goes on in and it disables all of the applications within the Windows environments, like the antivirus, Windows Defender, Microsoft Security Essentials. So it stops all of those services. Because if you have admin access of the local machine, you can stop those services. So the first thing it does, disables all the warning signs as first attack. The second attack, essentially what it does, is now it then targets all of the documents to essentially change those extensions of the documents to a malware extension and then encrypts them. So it goes on in first, disables all of the securities.
How do you get this malware? How do you get the Clop?
So the Clop is pretty standard available. It's the $75 to $150 ransomware as a service dark web purchase that you can get, and then you can send that to somebody in a phishing email attack.
Meaning it has to be a click. You have to click on something.
And it's an executable file that comes on in that you have to download to your PC itself. So it comes on in and it will say, do you want to download this? And you're probably going to get 2 or 3 warnings from your browser, from your operating system that you shouldn't be downloading it. It could cause harm to your system. So and you just keep on bypassing them and then you download this file.
All right. So this isn't a PDF executable, right? Where
this is not. No,
this is a PDF file and it automatically starts doing it.
That is not. But you could also do the fake Windows update, which is called the hidden ransomware. And this is very, very popular right now with Windows 11 that's going on out. It comes on up and says that we have a security update. The only place you should ever go for a Windows security update is within the operating system itself. Go into the control panel and do system updates, right? It's really simple. You can go to your start bar, type in system updates. You can type in Windows updates. Do it from your operating system itself. You should never have a flashing window on an internet page that says that you need to do a Windows update. When you have that flashing window on any internet page, oh, you need security update, or you need Windows 11 security, don't click on that file because that's not how Microsoft is going to send it to you.
Yeah, that's like pop-ups. They just all kinds of pop-ups.
Yes, so don't click on that because what will end up happening is it will actually trick the readers into installing it is a actual downloadable that is embedded sometimes in a PDF file. So this is more of the PDF files. When you click on it, though, it's going to come up and execute and say, do you want to do a Windows update? You have to hit yes. If you get that window and you see something like that, I always tell people a nice thing to do, just turn off your machine and restart. If you don't know what's going on and there's a bunch of crazy windows happening on your machine, turn it off. Just turn it off right there, hard, cold, turn it off, restart up and see what happens. Yeah. Because most of the time, those embedded links are not going to repopulate again. And then you're going to know, gee, well, if I had a Windows update, Microsoft is smart enough. If you reboot your machine and it's a real update, it will then start updating it at the very end of it. All right. So
they take 20 to 30 minutes out of your life.
That's right. And there's also the Zeus Gameware, which is a big one right now. That is online gaming to speed up your online gaming. So anytime you're playing online gaming and you see something that comes on up and says increase your online speed, don't do that because that's normally a hybrid of the Zeus Game Commander variable that's out there that essentially is not going to improve your internet speed. Your internet comes from Comcast or whichever internet provider you're at whatever certain speed it is. There is no software that makes it go quicker by downloading something.
That's too bad.
Why is that?
Because when you're playing online games, you always have to deal with lag spikes and all this other stuff. It could.
Do you remember the very first online games were card games? You know that?
Yeah.
Playing the hearts and like
Minefield.
Yeah, the online games. And now look where we're at. All right. Yeah. Is there a couple more? Oh, wow. Okay. Another one. Okay. What do you got, David?
Okay. It looks like we have time for one more caller. We have Eric on the line, and he's asking about the subject. The subject is social media. So, Eric, go right ahead, please.
How would people feel about an app that would do a social media rating for the individual?
For the individual, a social.
That sounds like a Black Mirror thing.
What's that?
You ever see the Black Mirror on? I think it's called Black Mirror on Netflix.
No, I have not.
Oh, you need to watch that. It's this kind of dystopian sort of stories, and one of them is this social media thing. It's something that China has done actually on their social media, where they do social media ratings for people.
Okay.
And it helps them qualify for certain services. Now, this one on this fictional television show, it could literally change your status, your
status. Oh, you know what? There's
status as a human being, and to the point where if you dropped below the high status, people would not talk to you. You would lose opportunities. This China is doing something similar to this.
So you know what? There was a show. What's that Seth MacFarlane knockoff space?
The Orville.
The Orville. So there's an episode on season 1 where they have a social media. I remember when that came on out. I really liked the Orville. I think it's coming back in some reboot or something like that. But they had this social media episode where essentially someone committed suicide because they said some comments, and you could go up to them and you could put like a thumbs down on them, and you'd actually vote on the person itself. And it was so bad that this person ended up like committing suicide because they said something incorrectly. And it was a very interesting.
All the time anyway. I mean, this is so. What would I say to that? That's a bad idea.
I don't think I like a social media app that rates social media interaction.
Influences. Yeah.
And what they're going to see from me, they're going to see a lot of steaks and a lot of food cooking.
Well, I think this is
TechTime Radio
I
shares.
think we're talking about an app that rates your social media presence.
Oh, okay.
So it tells you where you exist in the social verse, which has, where I could see where this would be something that if you're a marketer, you might want to use.
Okay.
To figure out if your marketing is getting out there.
Isn't this kind of like followers, though? If I have a lot of followers on Instagram, is it Insta? They call that the Insta now. I got a lot of followers on Insta.
Instagram,
that's right.
Instagram.
All right. Well, those were we're already through our time here. We got a bunch of other stuff to do. So hopefully we answered those right questions. For the callers that are on the line, please call back next week. We will have open calls again. This seemed to be pretty successful. So 888-298-KKNW. Mark that right now in your bookmark to call us next week. But when we come on back, speaking of social media, hey, we're going to be talking about our good old buddies, Facebook.
What happened?
You know what? Facebook is going to be making a big announcement because they want to take over the Metaverse. We talked about this a little bit last week. Metaverse, dual universes, but they want to own your social media profile. And they're going to be changing their name and a lot of other crazy information that we're going to be talking about to see if really, is this the best thing for society? And should we really be investing all of our time in Facebook?
I was telling you about the commercials that just aired on. I was watching Hulu.
Yeah.
They started airing commercials yesterday about Facebook's privacy.
And the lady comes on and starts saying about how they do such a great job for privacy.
Well, she's talking in very general terms about how people want to know how their privacy is used in government outlines and things like that. There's really no information, but it's a feel good Facebook commercial.
Do they have some energetic background music as she's talking?
I don't remember if there's music, but she's very calming and it's a very good.
Feel safe with Facebook.
Yeah, okay. It's one of those types.
All right, well, we're going to take a commercial break. When we come on back, we got Facebook, lots more information, and we still have our technology, our tech week. What happened this week in technology?
What happened this week in
Is it This Week in Technology?
Yes, that's what it is. Thank you, David. This Week in Technology. To end our show, too, we're going to get it, too. So let's go to a commercial break here and see you right after that.
You start throwing things.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. Story Coffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our Medium Roast Founder Series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at storycoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at storycoffee.com with code TechTime. That's STORI coffee.com.
Hi, this is Lisa Downs, host of Reigniting You, a new show here on KKNW that explores a variety of topics and timely issues for making mid to late career transitions. I'll be here every Wednesday afternoon at 3 o'clock bringing you guest interviews, career transition advice, and great stories to guide you to what's next in your career and life. Gain a renewed sense of purpose for your next phase with a positive, forward-looking approach. Get ready to be re-energized, recharged, and reignited Wednesdays at 3 o'clock. All
right, Mike, before the break, we had a real interesting question regarding social media that we talked about.
Social media, love it.
All right. So remember we had the founder of Checkmark on. You remember that? They came on and they did a big deal, and I was a part of Checkmark as a part of a little launch company. And then all of a sudden it disappeared.
Where'd it go?
Well, all of a sudden they possibly hired a Facebook employee, and then all of a sudden once you hire any pre-existing, or anybody that's ever worked with the social media company Facebook, and you bring them onto your staff, well, then they immediately send injunctions against your company for stealing their secrets of technology.
Oh,
so how do you ever
So
how do you ever bring in anybody that has ever worked at Facebook? Essentially, that's a red flag if you worked at a social media company.
Corporate skullduggery.
Yeah, it's you can't do anything. And you know what? Facebook is the villain of the old Microsoft times back in the early, I'd say, 90s. When Microsoft was out, Microsoft's horrible. They're doing this. Now they're on a plateau of everything's good. Apple's kind of on the plateau of it's all good. Google's on the plateau.
In China.
That's right. Google's on the plateau of, well, we're not good, but we're not Facebook. And then we have Facebook.
At least we're not Facebook.
So Facebook is announcing that they want to have a metaverse dominance. So what is Facebook's metaverse? And why is the social media giant so focused on it? Facebook will soon have a new name and a whole new focus.
Oh, really?
They're going through a whole branding process.
They're Amwaying themselves, huh?
That's right. It's the Amway. Did they change their name, Amway?
Do you know who Amway is?
No.
You don't?
Well, no, I know they made soap, right?
Yeah, they started as a soap. But this is one of the top
Multi-level
marketing companies that got in a lot of trouble for pyramid scheming and everything else. Well, they have gone through, I think, a few name changes.
Okay.
And I can't remember what the name. I know I looked it up earlier.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what
Can't remember what it was.
What it was, just like Altacore or something like that. But
some cool name.
Yeah, it's just some way. It's just some rebranding.
Well, earlier this week, the social media giant announced that it will hire 10,000 people in the European Union to build the Metaverse, a brand new version of how you can interact with each other online. But what is the Metaverse? It is actually the idea of having meta, which means beyond, and verse, which means universe, by having virtual reality, which they own a virtual reality headset. Facebook does, right? So they have Oculus Quest. I own the Oculus Quest too. I have the two versions.
That's Facebook stuff?
Yeah, that's Facebook.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Facebook owns it. Pretty nice device, actually.
Oh no, I do know that because they put that on the commercial, and I was trying to remember what the little O stands for. So yeah, there it is.
And
Oculus.
they're trying to take augmented reality, the AR technology. They have bought companies for that and put them together. This means that you could log into the network on the internet anywhere, wearing your virtual reality equipment to speak, meet, and play with each other online, or to have business discussions.
Tron, baby.
So that's right. So the new name of the social media giant is growing. Nobody knows exactly what it is. Essentially, the executives have kept it under wraps, very tight. Mark Zuckerberg is making the move to announce it. When he does it, he'll come on out with some Twitter or some post that he'll put on Facebook.
He's going to tweet stuff about Facebook.
He does do that, though. He does do that. So a few months ago, they launched a new product called the Horizon Workrooms. And Horizon is kind of the rumored name of maybe what this new company is called.
Okay.
It's Horizon. So they released Horizon Workrooms, a virtual reality meeting service where people use headsets to meet in an online space just like you're in your real office. Why go to your office when you can work from home and put on your VR set and interact with your individuals as if you're there?
Yeah, why go to the office and
socialize
and use a virtual reality headset when you got Zoom?
That's okay. Well, all right. So then after this, the social media company has essentially, we talked about this. They have the Ray-Ban Stories, which are the Ray-Ban glasses that have 2 cameras and a microphone that allows you to speak and have a voice assistant in your ear. Facebook co-founder Mark Zuckerberg has described the metaverse as a place where rather than instead of simply viewing content, you're fully engaged in it.
Oh, boy, that sounds provocative.
He used the example of watching a concert video on a smartphone is so outdated technology. Why don't you actually jump into the metaverse so you can feel like you're at the concert itself? Now, let me just tell you.
Yeah, we were talking about that, and I think it was Fortnite has these gatherings where they don't play the actual game. They go and watch concerts and stuff as their avatar.
Yep, we did talk about that. So there have it. The 37-year-old co-founder of Facebook said that he believes the future is all about sitting on a couch and having a hologram interact with you.
Yeah, like Wally.
All right. So the idea is that Facebook's vision will be the foundation of this new metaverse where you will be able to have information shared interactively. Now, he says that it won't be necessarily owned by Facebook, but it'll be owned by a community of individuals who will be able to provide feedback to ensure that you have the highest level of secure information and engagement without having big corporate management of what goes on.
Yeah, that's a double meaning, isn't it?
That's what he said.
So you can do whatever you want, and we're not going to be responsible for it.
That's right. There are huge concerns that Facebook and a handful of other Silicon Valley companies could end up dominating this metaverse. And you know what? I don't know if I have a lot of faith that Facebook is the company I want, knowing what I have in my house, at my couch, what's going on. Because in that new Oculus Quest 2, even though I have that information in front of me, there's a whole camera in the very front of the unit to make sure I'm clear when I'm doing my virtual reality stuff. So I'd hate for it to be recording everything in my house and sending it back to Facebook.
Dun.
All right. Well,
there's a lot of conspiracy stuff there.
So there's information on Facebook Metaverse. Are you secure that you want to have the Metaverse at your house?
No,
I
don't. I don't think we need more sitting on the couch.
Facebook, you know what?
We need less sitting on the couch. And that's hard. That's hard for me to say because I like sitting on my couch.
Okay.
I sit in my chair. I get to play games. I I work from my chair, so, but the fact of the matter is that anything that gets me out of my house is a good thing.
Yep.
So you just sitting around attending virtual concerts on a VR machine that's taking pictures of my domicile, I'm not real keen on that.
Well, the Metaverse products, they said, Mark Zuckerberg said that it was probably 10 to 15 years until it's fully developed, but they expect to have samples out in the next 2 years. I believe it. I believe it.
I'm sure Amazon is doing that too.
Yeah.
Sony,
are they? But no, they're
Sony.
No, they're too busy knocking off anybody else that's selling something on their product line so that they can create their own.
Well,
That's
apparently
what Amazon
Facebook is doing that too.
I think they are too. All right, we're going to need to take a commercial break. Hopefully, Facebook is still broadcasting our stream. And if not, you can always go to YouTube. We love Google, so youtube.com/TechTime Radio, and we'll be on there, or TechTimeRadio.com. That's right. All right, we'll see you right after this commercial break. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, are you bored of TV? Like drugs but can't afford them? Or still paying alimony?
Maybe.
All right, read How to See a Man About a Dog, collected writing. It's surreal. It's strange. It's How to See a Man About a Dog. Get your dose of surreal prose and poetry with this dark comedy collection.
Ebook available on Kindle Unlimited. Print copies are available on Amazon, the Book Depository, and more.
That's right. I'm going to go get my ebook on Kindle Unlimited today.
Hey, babe, I hear that you can download a new voice on Siri.
No way.
Yes, it's true. It's a voice that goes, hey, you big hunk. What do you want to do and where do you want to go?
Stop it.
Oh, God. Okay, I'm kidding.
What has tech ever done for our relationships?
We can't talk about that on the radio.
If you want to eavesdrop on juicy conversations that no one is having around all things love, sex, and relationships, join us right here, 1 p.m. on KKNW and wherever you get your podcast.
We look forward to seeing you in the Love Shack.
How to See a Man About a Dog. It combines darkly comic short stories, powerful poems, and pulp fiction prose to create a heartbreaking and hilarious journey readers will not soon forget. Read How to See a Man About a Dog, collected writings, for free with Kindle Unlimited. Ebook available on Kindle, print copies available on Amazon, the Book Depository, and more.
All right. Welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mum. I got Mike Day here, David Brown behind the board. We have had a lot of subjects to talk about today. We had callers call on in. We talked about Facebook's Metaverse.
Yeah, and if we get kicked off of Facebook, we can go to Trump's new social network.
That's right. The
Truth Social.
Truth Social. You got to make sure you go online to sign up to get their free app when they decide to release it. That's an odd way of doing it. I
wonder if they're going to hire Facebook employees.
Well, you can't, because if you hire a Facebook employee, you're going to be in big trouble. So hopefully they don't do that. All right. Well, we are now going to move into the home stretch of the day of our 2-hour show. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Again, you can always go to techtimeradio.com and get all the information if you came into the show a little bit later. If you're driving around and all you picked up was the last 10 or 15 minutes, you missed a great 2 hours of Tech Time Radio. You can always find that at techtimeradio.com. Again, that's techtimeradio.com. We have all the episodes there. We have information in our blogs. We have a newsletter you can sign up for with great information that we send out every month. And then you can always hear Mike and myself, as there's lots of episodes you can go back through and find out different information. All right.
Find out how much we like whiskey.
And that's right. And we did have a pretty good whiskey today. Our peach pecan whiskey.
Pecan weekend.
If you want to find out about it, go to the first hour. All right, let's start our next segment here. David?
Welcome to This Week in Technology. Brought to you by Elderberry Boost. Visit elderberry-boost.com.
All right, this week
where did you find Wilford Brimley?
Hey, I like that. Right, This Week in Technology. This is a very traditional radio broadcast. It's kind of like our letters. Okay, here we go. October 22nd, 1938. In a makeshift lab on the second floor of a rental house, Chester Carlson and an assistant, Otto Cornea, successfully invented the process that would lead to the photocopier. Carlson had written 10-22.38 Astoria on a piece of paper that became the history's first words to ever be photocopied. Ironically, Cornea had little faith in the invention, And within a year, he quit working for Carlson and willingly gave up his claim for the process. However, Carlson would later gift Cornea 100 shares of the Xerox Corporation, who decided this technology would take off, that would eventually be worth those 100 shares $1 million upon gifting.
Nice.
There you go. October 22nd, 1938, the very first photocopier. You ever remember the Memorax machines or what were the blue machines that you have to go around? I forget what they are.
I can't. The
Vimeo Max. Is that what it is? No, something else. You know what? A reader's going to have to send that to us. What was the blue ink that you'd always put? And you go,
it's right there, and I can't remember quite.
You know what? David's moving his hand here,
David's
though.
giving us
He's saying we
salute.
need to be ending here. So, well, I appreciate you for joining our 2 hours. I am Nathan Mumm. We got Mike Roday here, David Brown behind the board. Remember, technology is your friend.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment in technology today. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service from Apple to Google and everything in between. And also signing up on our YouTube page, where you get to see us live in video. Yep, you can see us chat and have some fun. It's youtube.com/TechTime Radio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, mum's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily